Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 9 of Wands. You're somebody who is very, very strong-willed right now. I think there are a lot of people in your life trying to change you, and you're not going to let it happen. There are a lot of things that are affecting your life and trying to get you to break a promise or an oath that you've made, probably to yourself. You're not going to let it happen. This is a card of backbone. This is the card of firmness. This is a card of resolve. Yeah. This is a card of, it's the card of that oath, and the promise, and the commitment, the obligation that we feel. We have a sense of purpose here because we have that connection between the sun and the moon, see? We have that connection with our purpose. And we're saying nothing will get me to bend or break right now. It's very strong energy. And I think that this is something very meaningful to you. Let's see what's going on. We'll put this card into a little bit of context. We have the 4 of Cups. We have a Knight of Cups. We have a Queen of Wands. We have a 4 of Pentacles. We have an Ace of Cups. Look at that. Yeah, I think that there is stability here in your body and in your heart. We have a stability. Okay, and I think that's very good because it's showing that we are not letting our desires or our cravings or our emotions get in the way of getting our true reward. Okay, this Ace of Cups, this divine reward here. So I like that. We're pursuing the Holy Grail. We're not going to settle for anything less. Yeah, here we have the 7 of Pentacles. We have a 3 of Wands. Very good. We have a 5 of Pentacles and the Tower. This is a life-changing energy, okay? I think that you are chosen for this. Okay? I think you're pursuing something that is really going to change your life. And again, it's kind of like, with that Tower, we're holding out for what is really going to be the absolute very best of which we're capable. We're not settling for less. Yeah. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We'll set it down over here. We'll put Jimbo, the Lizard King, a.k.a. Mr. Lizard, right there on top. We're not going to look at that energy until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments down below. Okay, now, as we look around the room, we only see one major arcana energy. That's the Tower, the life-changing moment, the overnight change. This is the novelty. This is the abrupt, sudden change of your circumstances. This is a liberation. This is a freedom. This is the Tower. This is the moment where your life changes. This is something that you're going to remember forever. Okay? This is something that is so significant that it's going to be one of the stories we tell our kids and our grandkids, It's a moment you'll never forget. Okay? And this is what it's all about. Nothing less than this breakthrough is going to suffice for you. This is everything. Okay? I feel like you've been chosen for greatness here. Something that is going to change your life in a very radical way. We got to claim this energy right now because there are forces that are trying to hold you back or restrict you or prevent you from going after this. Okay? We have our major, we've got fire and fire and fire. We've got water and water and water. Earth and earth and earth. 3, 3, 3. How's that for a divine number? Yeah, 3, 3, and 3. The Four of Cups here as your battlefield. This is something that is going to be blocking your path or trying to block your path. And it feels like this is something or someone that's going to tempt you to slow down or tempt you to rest or tempt you to settle for something. This is a card of luxury. Okay? This is the card that kind of is taunting us and saying, wouldn't it be just nice to come and sit down, lie down, put your feet up and have a warm beverage or a cold beverage? Wouldn't it be nice to just go back to bed and not do this? Wouldn't it be fun, right? Tempted by that luxury. And so it's like we're trying to fortify ourselves against this temptation to quit, to give up, because it would be easier to give up. You could take this consolation prize, or you can really break through with that tower moment. You can change your life forever and get everything that's beyond that, or you can just have this right now. It's kind of like you'll tell a kid, you can have one piece of candy now, but if you can wait till after dinner, I'll give you 2 pieces of candy. What do most kids say? They're like, give me the candy now, right? Till they get older, then they say, yeah, I'd rather get the good stuff later than just settle for something less now. And so this is that settling energy. Okay. This is also, it could be a storm shelter type of energy, that there is part of you that does want to kind of run and hide right now. That just feels like this commitment that I've made, whatever it is really a lot of work. It's really very challenging. And so there's always that temptation to kind of run and hide and go back inside where it's safe. Okay. To go back where it's comfortable. And to comfort ourselves with some kind of consolation. I want to be consoled. I want somebody to tell me it's okay that I quit. It's okay that I give up. We might have an energy around us right now that's kind of saying, it's okay for you to quit. It's okay to give up. But you're saying, wait a minute, no, I don't think it is okay to give up. Spirit does not want you to quit. Spirit wants you to honor this commitment that you've made, this oath that you've taken, this path that you've been on, this purpose that you've accepted, this quest that you have initiated. Okay? Because there's a deep sense of purpose here for you. If you give up on this now, you will regret it. You will be taking the consolation prize. You will be taking the 1 piece of candy now rather than the whole bucket of candy later. This feels good, it's tempting, but it's way less than what you could achieve. Who in your life's always whistling, too, by the way? Somebody's always whistling. Are you the whistler? Somebody's like, maybe that's, we're trying to whistle while we work, right? Because we're trying to distract ourselves from really thinking too much about any of this. And I think it's working for you because, we don't see any swords cards. We have 3, 3, and 3 and a major arcana, but we don't have any air cards. We're not overthinking it. We're not entertaining any of those doubts. We want comfort and consolation. I really want to rest, but it's like no sleep till Brooklyn, We're not gonna lie down. As comfortable and tempting as it is, this is the moon in Cancer. It's like, just go back into your shell. Just go back into where it was safe and secure. It'll feel better in there, I promise, right? We're not falling for that. So that's the obstacle for you, is to continue to push yourself outside of your comfort zone here. Down beneath the surface, we have a Knight of Cups. This is a quest. This is a Knight of the Holy Grail. You are on a mission, a divine mission. You were chosen for this mission. Okay? And you have now kind of you've committed yourself to this quest. This card is about giving and receiving love and affection. This is a card about compassion and kindness, but this is a card of passion. This is a card that's saying, I'm choosing not a 4 of Cups, I'm choosing a 10 of Cups. The Knight of Cups is always looking at the future and seeing that dream come true life, seeing the dream come true, the picture perfect life, not settling for anything less. Because on that path, we're going to get tempted with some pretty good stuff. We're going to be tempted with the consolation prize. It's kind of like, you can take this, you can pick what's in this briefcase now. It's pretty good. Or you can give this one back and go after the really big prize at the end. And I think you know what you're supposed to do right now. The Knights of the Tarot are all about how we begin something. I think when you started something, you said, I got to go all the way, or I might as well not do it. I either have to give myself over to this completely and follow through and see how far I can go. The 10 of Cups is not a 10. It's not like that's a limit and that's it. The 10 of the Tarot is basically an infinite number of something. When we say 10 of Pentacles, it's as many pentacles as you want. When it's the 10 of Cups, it's like there's not just a limit to our happiness. Not a limit. There's not a finite amount of happiness that I can achieve. It's open-ended. It's just because we count in base 10, 8, 9, 10, then a whole bunch. Like I tell my daughter, if you can count to 10, you can count to infinity if you wanted to. So the Knight of Cups is saying, I gotta go all the way. I gotta see how far all the way is for me. And I think the 4 of Cups, not far enough. You say, I can go further than that. I can do more than that. I can get more happiness than that. I can feel better than that. I can keep going. And I think really that's a perpetual thing, really. It's like we get to a certain point and we think, can I go a little further? Can I do one more rep? Can I take one more step? And we say, I can take one more. Let me take one more. Okay. But I think when you begin something, that's what you told yourself. You said, I'm either going to do this right, I'm going to do it all the way, or I might as well not do it. Okay. The Queen of Wands is in the background here. And there may be an older female energy that is tied into your life in some way, in a special way with your life, okay? And she had a shellfish allergy, right? Someone out there, an older female in your life with a shellfish allergy. Yeah. The Queen of Wands, in this case, in the background, the queens are all about the endings of something, okay? This is something that ended very abruptly for you. Yeah. And I think that as the Queen of Wands is processing an ending, it very much is an ending that happens quickly, and we very quickly move on. We quickly get over it, right? And so I kind of think that what's going on with this for you is that we've been through a lot of iterations of something. We've started and stopped a lot of things in life, and we've always kept going, but we maybe have been from jumping kind of from one thing to the other a little bit, because I think that we've been looking for the path with heart. You've been looking for the real quest. Okay. So this might be an energy that says, yeah, I'm kind of used to like going a certain distance and then saying no, and going a certain distance and saying no. But this one is going a certain distance and saying, yes, I got to keep going. This is the one you want to say yes to. I think in the past there were a lot of things that you started doing and kind of gave up on them. We quit. Not because we're weak, not because we took the consolation prize. Well, maybe sometimes we did. But I think because we realized that it wasn't really my path and purpose. I didn't feel that kind of deep energy there. I didn't feel that deep sense of purpose or connection with that work, so we ended up quitting on that, So the Queen is also a card that looks at the past, tries to understand the past, and understanding the energy of the past. And I think really understanding how I spent a lot of energy on things that I didn't really care about, or a lot of things that I didn't really want. I spent a lot of time doing things that really weren't right for me. I'm not going to do that anymore. So I put an end to those things. But I still have that energy. I still have that ability to commit to something. But you're committing to something that feels right. It resonates with you. Feels like this is your quest. You were chosen for this. For these things back here, you weren't chosen for those. They weren't wastes of time. It wasn't nonsense. It wasn't meaningless. But it wasn't what you were meant to do kind of open-endedly, right? And so we put a stop to certain things. Up above you, you have the 4 of Pentacles. This is a card of, well, usually a card of safety, security, and stability. Okay, that may be what we're really trying to achieve, is we're trying to build up our life, kind of one level at a time. And we're leveling up, leveling up, leveling up. It's kind of like you start with a foundation and you build your skyscraper from the ground up, okay? So that's kind of what you're doing. You're building something from the ground up. This is also the sun in Capricorn. So it's a very important card for you. Represents your ability to climb the mountain. Represents your awareness of your own power. This is material power, okay? And this is saying that you really have an ability now to create an amazing future. We don't want to limit that. There's no limit to how high you can climb right now. And so we're doing it from the ground up. And you're building it up in the right fashion. Spirit's saying to do it in an orderly way. Do it, I'm hearing like stacking. Does that make sense? We're stacking things up, like building blocks kind of thing. It may be that we're focused on the short-term goals, but we're pushing past those. We're not content. We're not satisfied. I'm not going to be complacent with any of these short-term goals. I know that each level that I build, I'm just standing a little higher. I got to build the next level, and I stand on that level so I can reach higher and higher and higher. So we're not stopping, but we're doing things in that. It's kind of like we're chunking goals, I guess, right? But I'm hearing the word stacking. And so it feels like we're using our short-term and medium-term goals to reach the heavens. We're building that tower, okay? I know it's kind of a silly analogy because what the tower, what does it do? It crumbles, right? I feel that we're stacking up these supports beneath us that eventually we're not going to need anymore. Okay, so it's there's some kind of a leveling up happening for you. Yeah. The Four of Pentacles, like I said, is safety, security, and stability. And once we get stable on a particular level, we start building the next level. And we're stacking I don't know what we're stacking. And it's kind of, we don't necessarily need the bottom supports any longer. That makes kind of almost like we're levitating now. And I guess what that is trying to say is that the methods that we use at the beginning feel like that's where our power is. These are the habits that I need at the beginning. And on certain levels, we need certain techniques, certain protocols, certain habits. But the higher up we go, some of these are not going to be useful anymore. So it's not like we have to keep all of this stuff with us. We're able to let go of certain techniques, certain habits, certain resources, certain routines or whatever, right? Because they're no longer necessary when we get to the higher levels. Yeah. In the future position, you have your Ace of Cups. This is the summit of the mountain. To me, this feels like this is our leveling up. We're stacking ourselves up the mountain. Okay. It's kind of like, the way they say they built the pyramids, right? With the dirt ramps, and it's kind of a scaffolding. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the scaffolding that we need to construct our temple, to construct our pyramid. But once it's constructed, you take the scaffolding down, And I think that this is the summit. This is the Ace of Cups. To me, it's not the beginning of something. To me, this is the arrival at the summit. Okay, and it represents the peak experience. Of course, it's the beginning of whatever's next after that, But I feel that this is the ever elusive Holy Grail, and I think that in a way it's kind of like that open-endedness. Because the 10 is the 1, it's a return to unity. The cycle continues, it goes on and on and on. You count to 10, you're really just right back at 1, and you 1, 2. And so it's kind of, to me, it represents that. So this might be that Holy Grail, that ultimate goal that we're after that doesn't really exist. It exists when we take it, we grab it, and we say, okay, that's enough. I'm done. I've achieved everything that I wanted to achieve. Or we keep letting this float a little bit away, and we keep going after it. Kind of the carrot in front of us saying, I can go a little more. Can I take one more step? I can take one more step. It's open-ended, you see. Yeah. But I think in the immediate future, this is a real satisfaction, a real connection for you, a real glorious love. And I wonder if this is, I don't know, this feels like something creative. It feels like something that's artistic. Yeah. But I feel that this is a real sense of purpose for you. Yeah. And the way forward is to not settle for anything less than the highest form of love, the highest goal, the highest achievement, whatever you can conceive of. Okay, this is God, goddess, deity, right? That is everything. That is source. Now, on the path of the serpent, we're going to talk about these cards. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Your readings are totally free. It really supports the channel, and well, I appreciate you. Your general energy is the Seven of Pentacles. This is little F failures. This, to me, is almost like you kind of feel like nothing's ever enough. Okay, and I think this is, in a way, this is motivating. Every achievement that we reach, every goal that we reach or achievement we make, we say, it wasn't really enough. This is almost saying like, we're only as good as our last accomplishment. We're only as good as our last win. And it's kind of like even after we win, we get that Six of Pentacles, we celebrate. Yes, that's wonderful, it's great, it's a victory. As soon as that moment is over, that Six of Pentacles becomes a failure, becomes a seven. It rots immediately. It's something that's really, really wonderful for a moment, and then it's like a straw dog. After the celebration, throw it away. You finish painting your picture in your studio. It's a masterpiece. It's wonderful. You're celebrating. You're going to pop open the champagne. You're going to celebrate the completion of that project, and then immediately put it in storage, sell it, give it away, throw it in the trash. Doesn't matter. We're on to the next one. Okay? And to me, that's a little bit of our Queen of Wands, too. The ability to process an ending very quickly and very quickly move on to what is next. So I feel that's kind of, that's part of your energy, which is like, I'm only as good as the last accomplishment. As soon as I get the win, I put it behind me and I keep going. Like nothing is ever enough, I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to say, that was the best thing I've ever done. And that I'm going to put that on a pedestal and say, I'll never do as good as that again. It's like we paint that picture and it's just a masterpiece. And then we hold it up with such reverence. We exalt it and we say, that's the best thing I will ever do. And what does that mean? It's downhill from here. That means that everything I do subsequently is going to be worse. No. We say that, it was beautiful, it was great, it was the best thing I've ever done. It's garbage. I can do better. Okay? I think it's kind of a motivational thing for you. Because we don't want to hold anything up as our peak experience, because then we're gonna think like, I'll never do better than that. I'll never achieve that again. My best days are behind me, that sort of thing, right? So I think this is a way, this is a technique, I think, that you use to keep yourself going. Yeah. The Three of Wands in the environment. This to me really does feel like you have a confidence and you have a focus. That you are fixed, you got your sights fixed on this. You're following your North Star. You're following your virtue. You know that you were chosen for this. Okay? I think that there is something that is happening in your environment, in a relationship of yours, that's going to test your virtue. And your virtue is, you know that you're meant to do this path and walk this path and take this journey. Something's going to try to tempt you away from that. Something's going to try to pull you away from that. So something is really like, again, testing the virtue. Okay? Your virtue of saying, I know the right thing to do, and I need to keep doing it. So there's going to be something that's kind of like over here saying, oh, come on, don't you want to lie down? Don't you want to just relax and indulge and give up and quit and just take the prize? You've already accomplished enough. You can go home and relax now. And it's kind of, it's tempting you off of your quest. This quest for the Holy Grail, right? It's trying to lure you away and get you to forget about your quest. Okay, it's kind of reminds me a little bit of the Odyssey, right? Odysseus on his journey home to Ithaca. We don't want to get too distracted with any of the achievements or quests or side quests or the wins or the victories or the challenges. We have to remember what our purpose really is. Okay. Now, in the fear, worry, and concern, you've got worry. You're worried about worrying. Five of Pentacles. We're worried about, I think, material matters, right? We're sort of anxious about the breakthroughs. We're anxious about like what's coming after all of this journeying. Okay, we see with the Five of Pentacles that it looks like the walls are about to come down because we're starting to see the discs here crumbling, and the light is starting to break forth from underneath. So it feels like we're kind of nervous. We sense that something's about to happen, and it makes us nervous. We can feel that like the walls are about to come down. Something's about to break forth. Something's about to happen. Something major, life-changing moment's about to happen, and we can feel it. It's making us a little nervous because we're starting to feel a little bit of a rumble beneath our feet, you know? We start to get a little tremor, and we think, uh-oh, this is the big one, right? I'm from California. I know what those earthquakes feel like, yeah. But we're starting to sense that something big is happening. And it makes us a little nervous because we know that it's going to be life is being disrupted right now. Things are kind of falling away. It's kind of like when the scaffolding starts to fall off from our pyramid, and it's just like we're really high up there. And so this is something that we have to deal with. But I think it's really this sense of like I'm creating this tower moment. I'm pushing through all the blockages, and I'm getting to the other side. I'm unleashing my power here. Okay. And the tower moment is that breakthrough, life-changing moment. And I think that it's almost like there's freedom on the other side. It's like we're getting past all of these blockages. We're achieving this freedom. Your creative energy is going to be liberated. To me, it feels like a real liberation of energy. It feels like we're pushing through the blockages and the obstacles. The tower is a life-changing moment. Yeah. And this is the moment that everything changes for you. Yeah. And I think that you know that your life has been building up to something. That's what we kind of feel here. Starting to feel things are getting a little shaky. Things are starting to move around a bit. Something big is coming. Okay? We have to resist the temptations to quit now because we're on the cusp of really a breakthrough. Big time breakthrough. Let's look at our mystery card. Here we have position 11, the guide. And this is usually the voice of the silence within you, right? A message from your higher self showing you what character qualities we need to develop in order to move forward. I think this is going to be a fixed energy. So a prince or a king of something. It's going to be the Hierophant. It's going to be maybe a four, another four, maybe a four of wands. It could be the Wheel of Fortune. It could be the Judgment card. It could be an Eight of Wands, an Ace of Wands. Let's see what we have. A Queen of Swords. Interesting, Queen of Swords. Trying to get the objective viewpoint, trying to remain, honestly, this feels like we're trying to be stoic, right? We're trying to remain objective here. When we get this Four of Cups, this is what it's all about, right? The whole reading, this is your obstacle. This is what's holding you back from really this breakthrough, is this idea of comfort, this idea of the temptation to kind of just slow down, go back to sleep, just quit while you're ahead, just stop now, you've achieved enough, you don't need to push any further, it's too risky, it's too uncomfortable, it's too much work, etc. This is you trying to not really feel that, look at it and see it for what it is and say, no, you're not real. Right. This is that objective kind of view where we're getting separated from our feelings and our emotions, right? That we're getting separated from that Four of Cups. And we're saying, I see that for what it is, and I'm not going to let it overpower me. I'm not going to let how I feel in the moment take away my energy and my commitment to this long-term goal that I have. In the short term, yeah, Four of Cups sounds nice. I could just go inside and lie down. But long term, that's not going to satisfy us. So we're trying to be very stoic here. We're trying to keep our wits about us and be reasonable here, be objective and say, no, I don't care. Those short-term luxuries aren't really going to mean anything in the end. I have to keep going on this path. Okay. And now we're going to keep going into the extended reading. If you want to stick around, we'll do an I Ching hexagram, we'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner, there's a link down below. New readings for Capricorn on Thursdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.